Hello and welcome to Steve's Backyard Bonsai. Today I'm going to tackle that new Japanese holly I got. Mainly because I really want to get it out of this nursery pot and I want to do the root work first. So it's early enough in the season that I think this will be good. Well, let's look closely at the tree. This tree should bring me a lot of joy. First of all, it's an upright tree. It's got a great little structure in here, and it's got a branch down low, which I think can be really spectacular. And it's got a nice little nabari happening. So we got to see what's below the surface. I know there are ants down there, as I saw them crawling around. And this, I believe, is a separate tree. At least I hope it is. Pull it aside, and you still got a nice structure here. It's hard to see, but I spent a lot of time in the nursery looking at every single tree that was there, and I pulled this one out. So this is going to make me happy. I hope some of you find some joy in this as well. Should pop right out, and I've got to get it bare rooted. I've got 2 buckets of water in here to help me. It's raining today, otherwise I'd have something set up outside. Okay, it's got a lot of roots. Oh, is this one that I just saw off the bottom and forget about it? Oh dear, what's a man to do? Let me focus on down low. Right, the first thing I'm going to want to do is see if I can tease the top layer off and kind of uncover the secret that this tree may or may not have. I'm already seeing a high root here. This is one of those occasions where I didn't feel comfortable digging down at the nursery. Sometimes you don't care, you just start doing it. There's nobody around. But I don't know. It does appear a little weird. I know people have said, hey, I'm paying good money for that. I don't know. I don't mind doing it, but I don't really feel like being watched while I'm doing it. All right, let's see what's going on down here. And I hope I don't find a lot of ants. I think I'm taking a saw to this. I don't think there's any problems with that. And these roots, this must have been facing south, so it got warm. These roots might be starting to grow, but as I've learned, as you dig down, they go dark again. So this might have just been an early start. Let me get a saw. I'm just going to take a stab at this right here at first. This should be okay. I have heard warnings about doing this from people who have discovered roots that went up and down and you're cutting off just the wrong part. I haven't experienced that myself yet. If I don't see any like wood structures, I know that I could have gone even further. I'm sawing through something there. Right here, but not very big. So here's where I start combing out in earnest. And I'm using the soil that I used to repot this the Japanese holly that died. I just washed it. And it's ready to go. I'll go through this in time lapse because it does get quite tedious. All right, so what this root base has taught me is these probably really are two different trees, but there's no way I can extricate them right now. It also taught me that I can get a little bit more root base by just removing the small roots at the top of the root base to see what's down below. And there are some nice roots below. Also, this heavy root definitely belongs to this smaller tree. And it's starting to rain. Well, it's been raining all day, but it's raining harder. And I'm liking the rain, A, because I don't have to water outside, and B, because it's filling my IBC tank. I'll be real careful and know where I want to end, which is about right here. Okay, I'm going to clip away. This large root that goes way up. I'm going to take it off of this side. And I'm going to take it off of this side. And just being a little brutal here. Sometimes you have to be. Not necessarily trying to separate the trees, but I'd like to separate the trees if possible. It's looking possible. I'm going to rinse it a little bit and I will be right back. All right, well, they weren't conjoined. This is the small tree. What I'm going to have to do is, I'm going to put it in water right now. I'm just going to maintain as many roots as I can. Obviously, if I cut it here, I got to plant this as a cutting. So I'll plant this whole thing up to here and hope to generate roots down this low. We'll see. That's for another video. This one, I think I can have some success doing a root pruning on. So, its dense piece is right here. I probably could work on this for a little bit longer. There is quite a hard root right there. And I see that it goes down and around. So, what do? All right, I can try to maintain all of the roots. I'll lose this one. All that is these two pieces. Maybe I can keep the lower one. The whole thing's a little bit too high if I want that root base down there. So off it comes. All right, I got to clean this up a little bit here. Be right back. I'm going to work my way around. I want this tree upright. I want the root base to begin about right here. This one is a little high. I'm going to take that one off. These are also a little high. This one, I'm going to leave that one. I'd love that one to develop. Here's a real heavy one that kind of goes up. It doesn't flow down nicely. I could take that whole thing off, couldn't I? See if I could see it any better. Problem is, I'm not sure what all is attached to it. But I think that's the right move. I'm going to do it. This is the part that hurts my heart. Oh, God. All right, probably could grow something from that. Which leaves this big, heavy piece, which also has to go. That didn't hurt quite as much. All right, now I gotta look at the top of this. Remember, I got that big, heavy root going down. So I want to take off all of the hair roots that are on the top of that. And this whole section might end up being above ground. All right, this piece is part of the other tree, I think, that just started growing under there. This goes up, but it has a piece that goes down. This goes up, but it has a piece that goes down. At the end of this, I want this tree to live. So that's the beauty. This was $11.98, this one. That is the beauty of nursery stock. And if I paid any more than that, I wouldn't be doing root work like this. All right, let me just scrape out a little bit more of the nursery soil. I didn't find an infestation, by the way, of ants. Must just have been a few. And here's a root that curls around. Can I correct it? It goes down. I'm going to dig in here with this fine. I can actually see what my problem is. It's right here. That problem just went away. Doesn't sit quite flat. That helped. Be right back. Got to cut a little bit more off the bottom of this. All right, that's it. Let's plant this baby up and pray. All right, I cleaned up the tray that the other tree died in. I'm using window screen, which is probably wrong for this because these holes are pretty big. But whatever. I had them cut already. The holes are big, so the screen will definitely kind of bow out. I mentioned that I had washed out the soil that was in here before. I'm just going to start scooping it in, and it's wet, so that actually is a good thing. It'll help hold the tree. All right, I want the roots to fill this pot. So I'm going to plant this tree upright, about right where it is. I'm not going to prune any branches today, although I may pull some out of there that are just definitely not going to be in the final design. I can make that determination now. I will work that soil in. Which is a little bit easier when the soil's dry. But I think this tree is going to be quite nice. I definitely don't think there was anything wrong with this soil. And I will keep some stones around this. Actually keep it in the greenhouse for a little while, so I'm sure I don't bump it. That piece of root is just showing here. I'm going to bury it, hoping I get roots from it that I can choose from later on. This is the first time I've ever planted with wet soil. I've seen it done out there, and it seems like a more pleasant way to do it. So aside from just taking out crossing branches and things like that, I'm going to leave the styling to midsummer. And I'm sure this tree has survived, and it has started to put on some new growth. That's the part you pray for. All right, so this is more pleasant and also more messy. I'm going to pick a front later on in the process. And the next replanting or repotting, we'll take that more into account. But this has got a nice flare to it. This was where it was buried before up until, and then I cut all those roots off. Going for that nice root base. The front is probably someplace around there. But like I said, I'm not going to worry about it now. Yeah, definitely got to get some stones on this. All right, well, thank you for keeping me company in my backyard.